Hey guys, welcome to, but it's pretty much a clone, or I don't know if it's an exact clone, but it's very similar to Super Mario Brothers. And
Hey guys,
this was actually one of those controversial things where the game came out for the Commodore 64. I don't know if it was on any other system. I just know it came out. And Nintendo obviously had a huge problem with it. Just gonna say hi to Angela here. And yeah, I mean, anytime anybody made any clone to Super Mario Brothers, Nintendo pretty much had to shut them down. I mean, there was Princess Rescue for the Atari 2600, which was a homebrew. And I'm sure that ruffled a lot of feathers with Nintendo as well. So, I don't know. I guess they really want to protect their brand. Even when I do any videos, even today on Super Mario Brothers, it gets a copyright claim on it, meaning that Nintendo has the right to, I guess, make money off my video. I can't make money off of it. Nintendo will make the money off of it. So, and the way they usually do it is through the sound. So, it detects the sound of the Super Mario Brothers soundtrack, and it goes from there. So, this game, I've always kind of been aware of it. Well, maybe not always. I wasn't aware of this game when I had my Commodore 64 when I was a kid. Obviously, this came out in '87, so it came out kind of in the later stages when I only had whatever I had from when I was a kid as far as Commodore 64 games, so I didn't know that this actually came out. And I don't even know if it actually came out to North America. I don't know if it was like a German thing or somewhere else. I don't know. So it was kind of interesting that this game even came out, and I had no idea that it even existed. Because I didn't have a Nintendo at the time, and I remember wanting to play Super Mario Brothers so bad, and all I had was a Commodore 64 and an Intellivision. And so I never had the opportunity to play Super Mario Brothers. So this would have been cool to have if I knew about it. So I'm just going to unpause the game here, just to take a look at the opening screen here. Pretty interesting compared to, say, the original opening screen to Super Mario Brothers. And I mean, you can see there's some slight differences. It's got those diamonds in there. It's got those weird mushroom shapes. So press 1 for 1 player or 2 for 2 player. So let me just adjust my windows here so I can still see the chat while I'm playing. I just want to see who's in the chat right now. So we got Billy O, who just came in around the beginning. We have Angela T-Bear. I'm sure I'm saying her name wrong. She'll yell at me tomorrow. Jim's Retro Zone's in here. How's it going, Jim? Nostalgic for the 70s and 80s is also in here too. And he's saying it's nice to see some C64 videos. As a member of the TPUG, Toronto Pet Users Group, for anyone living in the Greater Toronto Area, come look us up. Pretty cool. I'm in the Greater Toronto Area. So, let's get this game a whirl. Now, I'm not fully versed in this game, so I'm just going to be comparing this to Super Mario Brothers. Now, obviously, right off the bat, it's a girl instead of a boy. And the first thing I'm going to notice is that the fire button does not make you jump. Oh, alright. Angela won't yell at me tomorrow. I must have said it right. So, you don't jump with the button, you push up to jump, which is a little bit more confusing. Whoa, that weird thing just killed me. Because I'm used to the whole jump button. Which also means I don't think there's a run button. Now you have to keep in mind that the Commodore 64, much like the Atari, used a joystick that only had one button. There was no game pads back then. And if you had a joystick with 2 buttons, it was usually the same button. It just meant that maybe the button was located maybe at the top of the joystick in case you want to use your thumb, or maybe it was on the right or the left hand in case you're right-handed or left-handed. So they had to come up with a way to make a jump and a shoot button, and I guess they decided to use the fire button as actually the shooting button. So whenever I get the fireball equivalent of this game, I'm noticing too the speed is a lot more slower. This girl moves a lot slower than Mario does. But I mean, overall, it feels like it's a Super Mario Brothers game. I mean, that must be the... Yep. Okay, so that lightning bolt is the equivalent of the fire plant in Super Mario Brothers. Just shoots this white little ball of lightning, I guess. What just killed me? Oh, time. The timer's still in here, too. Doing well, Jim. Glad you can come in on the stream. Oh, jeez. Just so much different than Super Mario Bros. As far as controlling is concerned. And I'm used to at this, you know, running. I don't know what that is. That looks like a kind of a candy or something. I guess the diamonds that I'm collecting is in replace of the coins. Ugh. That's horrible. Yeah, that's it. Let's try that again. So instead of coins, I guess you're collecting diamonds. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Nostalgic for the 70s and 80s, saying that this game is pulled due to Nintendo. That's kind of what I figured. You know, the similarities to it. Although I don't know how they can copyright, you know, a concept like this. Like, I guess there must have been enough of it that resembles too much of the Super Mario Bros. Game, maybe the bricks or something, but I mean, video games throughout the years, there's always been clones, always. Like, starting from one of the first few video games, like Space Invaders. How many Space Invaders clones have there been? Pong. Billions of Pong clones kind of go in. That's okay. This level kind of does resemble the second level in Super Mario Bros. Sort of. The villains look a little bit off. I'm assuming these things are tunnels, but so far I haven't been able to go down any of them. Now, like I said, I don't think this is going to be an exact copy of Super Mario Bros. So, I'm noticing some differences right here. I can probably go up there. Yeah, but I don't know if this game has warp zones and all that stuff. No idea. I've actually never played this game. I mean, you know, I've tried it just to make sure the game worked, but... Oh, 2. I don't know what that means. Okay, that just... Whoa. Oh, neat. Okay, so I can jump on that. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's some pretty subtle differences to this and Super Mario Brothers. So it's amazing that Nintendo was able to actually sue, or maybe they didn't. Oh geez, time is really crappy in this game. Maybe they just threw a threat at them and they didn't want to take on Nintendo, so, you know, why risk it? Whoa. I'm also not used to the pushing up to jump. Even though that's pretty much what they did in the Princess Rescue version for the Atari, was the up button. And in fact, you know, it's very similar. This is to the Princess Rescue. Really need a whatever that lollipop thing is, whatever that candy is. So I'm noticing the time in this though. They really don't give you a whole lot of time. Ow. But Space Invaders did not protect their copyrights. I guess because, you know, the industry was still brand new. The last thing they were even thinking about was people copying them. Whoa. There's a flying thing there. Okay, that looks like an arrow that's going up. I wonder why. Like I said, I've never played this game before, so I don't know any of the secrets, or I might be missing some secret block somewhere. So far I haven't been able to go down any tunnels, so are those things even tunnels? I like how the boulder thing falls, though. That gives you kind of like a stepping stool. Whoa, that crazy-looking Goomba wannabe just killed me. The other thing I haven't noticed is anything that resembles the turtles. You can knock on their, knock out their shell and use the shell as kind of a weapon. Alright. What are these things? It's like some strange, Super Mario Brothers alternate dimension. It's funny because I remember that, you know, I guess in the probably in the mid-90s, I remember seeing a lot of Super Mario Brothers clones being sold in the stores for PC. And it was almost like literally a Super Mario Brothers clone. I don't think they called it Super Mario Brothers though, but it looked almost identical to it. I guess I can't touch that. Am I dead? Well, that's not very good. F1 to save high scores. Yeah, let's see. Oh, so I guess when you die, you start all the way back. Nostalgia is saying there is an Amiga version. Well, that makes sense to me. Amiga, wasn't that also Commodore? Wasn't it a Commodore Amiga? Just like the Commodore 128. I think Amiga was Commodore. I remember still when I was buying Commodore 64 games, the other competitor that was out there at the time, which had a lot of games on the shelf at like Zellers and Kmart and all that, was the Atari ST. And I remember seeing a lot of great looking games for that system. I never had it, but I'd always see them on the shelves, and sometimes the graphics and stuff looked a little better than the Commodore version. Or they just had some games that Commodore just didn't have. But I don't think I've actually ever seen an Atari ST to even know what it looks like. It's just one of the many computers that came out of the day back when the marketplace was starting to get flooded. Now the other thing I'm noticing is different is doesn't look like she changes size. Like Mario starts off little and then he becomes Big Mario. This I don't think it looks much different. I think they just stay the same size. Man, I'm going slow. Wonder if there's a warp zone or something. I mean, there's that arrow there. You'd think that would mean something. Guess not. Amiga started out being developed by Atari people, but ended up being bought by Commodore. Interesting. I guess when it was being developed by Atari, its name probably wasn't Amiga, was it? I mean, at the time, I think most of the Atari names were all numbers. Atari 2600, 5200, 7800, 800, 400. Then they went into what? STX? Is it XE, XL? Not until what? The Atari Lynx and then the Atari Jaguar that they started coming up with names. I think what? The Jaguar, the Atari Jaguar. Wasn't that the last one to come out? I wonder what the double lightning bolt does. It's annoying you can't kill that thing. I don't think I... Oh! The balls bounce and stuff. So I think I just had to jump over that. What just killed me? Time. Oh. Wow. Time is not very forgiving in this game. Like, seriously, you gotta run your butt through this game. Have I beat this game? Jim's asking me if I beat this game. Actually, this is the first time I've actually really played this game. I mean, short of booting it up to make sure it worked, I haven't actually played this game before. I didn't have it on my real Commodore 64. And, yeah, it just seemed like it'd be a fun game to give it a whirl. So I was always aware of it, and part of the reason which got me thinking about this one was, oops, my latest video, where I did awesome games that start with G. This was brought up in one of the comments. I can't remember who brought the comment out for, but this was brought out in one of the comments. And I thought, geez, I totally forgot about this one. Probably because I never played it before and I wasn't even thinking about it, but... Oh, jeez. This is hard. Mike M. Garcia saying that it wasn't developed by Atari, they just lent them a few of them. Yeah, for me the Atari pretty much ended with the 7800. I didn't, I still never had a 5200. I've never even played on a 5200. And I've never played a Jaguar either. By the time the Jaguar came out, I was really just Nintendo at that point. Ah. So now this looks like a castle. One thing I have to say is the music is quite different. It's not as, crap. Not as catching as, obviously as Super Mario Brothers is, but I mean, different music composers. One thing I don't know is if there's a way to like continue your game. That'd be very handy. I seem to always have to start at the beginning. Yes, the Atari 5200 podcast. If you're wanting to learn about the Atari 5200, there's an Atari 5200 podcast. You can find them on Facebook. Where else can you find them? Throw some links out there. In fact, well, yeah, I've considered the 5200. Actually, I do have a video coming out where I'm talking about consoles that I've been considering. And I'm going to kind of throw the conversation in that direction of the 5200 and some of the other systems out there. So watch out for that video. That's coming out. I don't know if it'll be my Tuesday video or my Thursday video, but it'll be out this week for sure, I think. Unless something else pops up that's more pressing. I mean, last week I ended up doing... Whoops. Did I die? Oh, I thought I died. Last week I ended up doing a impromptu video on the Intellivision because of the Intellivision coming back, which is really exciting news for me. And, you know, I had to do a video on that. So... Hey, what's that? I just got like some kind of strawberry or raspberry or some fruit. Interesting. Okay, there's a little crack in there. I wonder... I guess you can't fall through that. You're too big. But I'm gonna hurry up because I always seem to be dying from time. Yeah, nostalgic. We do need to do that live stream. I'm actually considering doing my live stream, trying to start that back up again. I've been crazy busy these last few weeks with other things going on, and just haven't had the... Yeah, I've just had like crazy busy, and so hopefully now I'm going to have some more time to start my live chats again, because I really enjoy doing them. And I'm working on a bunch of potential people. So, the nostalgic for the 70s and 80s, I want to do, whoops, podcast with him, or a live cast with him. I also got some other guests, the immortal John Hancock, if you know who he is. If you watch podcasts or YouTube, gamers and stuff, the immortal John Hancock. He's agreed to do a live chat with me, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to work out a time with him. And, whoa. Ew, the jumping on this is horrible. And there's also, I mean, I'm not going to put a guarantee on this, but the president of Intellivision Entertainment, Tommy Tallarico, also expressed interest in doing a live chat with me. So that will be amazing if I can pull that off. Whoa! I just died. I mean, he already gave me a shout out in his Facebook live chat when he was talking about the launch of the new Intellivision stuff. At the very end, he ended up calling out my channel, which was pretty cool. I mean, he didn't call out any other YouTubers except me, so that's actually pretty cool in my book. And if I can pull off an interview with him, that'd be so much fun. And same with John Hancock. I mean, John Hancock is he's becoming a legend in the video gaming industry. I mean, the retro gaming world. So. Yeah. I'm gonna be famous. That'd be something. Well, the thing I like about Tommy Tallarico is he shares a lot of passion with the Intellivision. I mean, in a way, very similar to you know where I grew up with it as well, and it's always been my favorite system too. And, oh no. Not doing too well at this. I thought I'd at least get to, like, the second world. Yeah, Paul as well. He's with the Intellivisionaries, and, I've talked to him a few times too. He must have subbed to my channel. Possibly. Yeah, he was on the Facebook video. You know, I wasn't sure if that was him or not. I was watching it. I'm like, I didn't know if that was Paul or if it was just, you know, somebody else. Who... Yeah, he's the one who actually called out my channel first. Like, I know the launch is very early. I mean, they're still in full development stage. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot we can say about it. And there's a lot of speculation going to be flying around. They're definitely a lot further ahead than, say, the Atari VCS, Atari Box, whatever you want to call it, the new Atari that's coming out. I mean, they've already got their campaign on the go, and they've already raised all the money, and apparently this thing's going to happen, so whether it's going to be geared towards players like me, or if it's just going to be another Xbox, remains to be seen. I think it's just going to have a few retro aspects to it, and I think the majority of the machine is going to be built for modern gaming, which, I don't know, doesn't really appeal to me, and the amount of money that I'd have to spend on it, you know, to get the streaming box. I think I'm going to hold out and hope that the Intellivision comes to life. Yeah, the Atari, a lot of people have mini Ataris. I mean, the Atari was obviously a heck of a lot more famous. More people started with it. You'll definitely hear a lot more people say they started off on an Atari. And even people who aren't really familiar with the video gaming world, you say Atari, they know what you're saying. You say Intellivision, they're like, what are you talking about? So, I mean, you know, obviously Atari did have a bigger following and bigger brand, and even though the Intellivision, in most cases, had far better graphics and sound, and yeah, so Nostalgia's saying he doesn't need the Atari box. Well, no, that's the thing, we don't. I mean, if it's just going to be another streaming box, you know. And part of what I liked about what Tommy said about the new Intellivision not doing things like playing Netflix, you know, just making it sound like it's just an average streaming box that can do everything, then it takes the appeal away, right? Because, like, so what? There's lots of those out there. There's that Oya thing or whatever. Raspberry Pis. There's... Even now, I mean, I'm just playing on my computer. I'm playing on an emulator. Jeez. It's just not the same experience, though. The thing that I'm going to be like really curious on with the new Intellivision is the controller. And Tommy kind of spoke out about it. He didn't want to say too much because, you know, they're still in development. He doesn't want to be held to anything. But one of the things he did mention, which made everybody kind of go crazy, was the disc was going to be there. If you're familiar with the Intellivision, used to today. But at the same time, he also wants to make the other options available. So he's not just going to completely shut out modern technology or modern gaming. Uh-oh. I think I'm at the end. I wonder what I have to fight. Is there going to be like a Bowser character? What is that thing? Wow. That was insane. Really wish I could start off. Although I'm using an emulator, so I could probably use save states. Oh. Hey, it's Retro Revolutions in the chat. How's it going? Playing the great Giana, or Giana, however you want to pronounce this game. Yeah, that's right. Angela's saying that's like the bugs in our office. I work in the same office as Angela, so it turns into a ghost when she gets powered up there. Really weird. But yeah, you see, she doesn't change in shape. Yes, I am, Jim. He knows me too well. The music in this is kind of, it's very typical Commodore 64 sound, a little bit different than what I'm used to, with that kind of sound that it's making there. I mean, this sound that you're hearing now, lots of Commodore 64 games kind of have that sound to it. Commodore 64 had a pretty good sound chip. I know the 8-bit guy who does YouTube. He's a pretty popular YouTuber, and I remember watching a few of his Commodore videos. Even when you look at the Intellivision sound chip compared to like the Atari's 2600 sound chip, anyways, was you know, paled in comparison to the Intellivision. Yeah, ColecoVision. Imagine Coleco coming back. Well, they tried with the Coleco Chameleon, but that was just a shit show, so it didn't happen. People kept thinking that the Atari VCS Atari box was going to be another Coleco Chameleon, but I guess that's not the case now. Dozerbed saying this is so a Mario ripoff. That's exactly what it is. I mean, this was made in 1987 at the height, or just a little past the height of the Super Mario Brothers popularity. And this was their answer to having a Super Mario Brothers game on the Commodore. Oh, I just ran out of time. God, I gotta speed through this, even though there's no run button. It's really... Ugh. Really? There are two new Coleco systems being developed by CollectorVision and Opcode. Are they like new ColecoVision systems, or are they going to play the old? See, I'm also interested in like the Retron style things as well for these systems. I mean, the Retron 77 is supposed to be coming out at some point, and I mean, it's interesting. The Retron 77 is basically a modern Atari that plays original Atari games. You plug it in like HDMI to your 4K television, and you can play your original Atari 2600 cartridges on it. That sounds amazing to me. I'm not 100% stoked on it because I have several Ataris. I can play Atari anytime I want. I kind of wish it would be Atari 7800 and the 7800, plus, you know, the 7800 cart slot, I believe, could also fit the 2600, so... if it could play all three systems, I'd probably be more stoked about it, but the fact that it's just going to be 2600, I don't know. I mean, I like the flashback systems too. They're okay. A lot of people complain about them being, you know, cheap plastic and they break easily and stuff like that. You know, I remember reading someone's comments about John Hancock, supporter of At Games, and he's basically ripping John Hancock apart for liking or supporting or saying that the At Games systems are crap, or not saying that they're crap, I should say. He just found it hard to believe that anybody would even like the system, so... I personally don't mind them. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of other options outside of owning the original consoles. And let's face it, a lot of people today don't have the know-how to find an original console, to hook up an original console, and you still got to deal with the fact that you need to find all the cartridges, and I mean, you almost have to invest your time and knowledge to own these systems nowadays. Whereas a flashback, you can just buy it and just plug it in and start playing, right? You can always argue, oh yeah, you can get a Raspberry Pi and stuff, but the average person who just played Atari back in the day and who just wants to relive that experience, I think the at-games things, they're not bad. I know the Sega at-games things supposedly aren't as good. I've never really tried one, but there is a lot. This little X thing here. I'm assuming... the jump is weird in this game. I'm assuming getting so many of these diamonds, I would get a free life just like in Mario. Okay, let's see if I can pass that weird-looking bug thing. I really would... Oh, no! How many lives do I have? 1. Now I wonder if you do make it to level 2, if there is a continue feature. Or if they really just want you to be able to complete this game in one shot, which would really suck. Jumping, because the jumping is the up button, that's what makes it a little bit tricky. The levels don't feel as long as a typical Mario Brothers level, though. Or is it just me? Ah, jeez. I haven't been monitoring my streaming, but I don't know. Maybe everybody in the chat can let me know if everything's been streaming okay, or if it's been choppy. It seems to happen the most with my my Atari streaming. Just jump over this guy and keep running. Do I have to kill him? Oh. For whatever reason, whenever I do the streaming for Atari games, that's when I get the choppy... game have any hidden items? Guess I'll just have to find them randomly if... Candy thing. Now how in the world... Sometimes it'd be choppy and I'd have to reload, but it's good for now. Okay. Freezes for a sec or two every minute. Alright. Maybe my internet provider. I know for a fact nobody else is using the internet in the house, so... What? Okay. Let's see what happens. Whoa. Back to stage 1. Really? I don't even know why Nintendo would even complain about this game. It's not even half as good as playing real Super Mario Bros. Kinda disappointed that these things aren't pipes. Like, if they are, I've never found one that you can go down. Like, that was part of the fun of Super Mario Bros. Yeah, agreed. Same reason why Nintendo complains or puts a copy in. As if I'm making any money off of my videos. I can't even monetize my videos because I don't even have 1,000 subscribers to meet the YouTube monetization thing anyways. Even then you have to have like, what is it, 4,000 watch minutes or something crazy like that? Or more. Yeah. Rex Warden is saying, yeah, it's still needlessly similar to Super Mario Bros. Well, I guess that was their whole point, right? Make a Super Mario Bros. Style game. They didn't copy it exact. There's some subtle differences. The fireball actually kind of reminds me of the fireball in Super Mario Land. You know, if you're used to the Game Boy, the original Game Boy Super Mario Land, instead of the fire plant, it was like some other kind of weird plant, and it gave you that ball that bounced around the screen. That'd be one I should play, do a live chat, live play on is Super Mario Land. It's a fun variant of Super Mario Bros. Same with the Zelda Link's, what's it, Link's Adventure? Okay, I haven't figured out what that thing does yet. There's like a few items in here, I don't know what they do. I always feel like I'm not going to make that jump. Getting used to the controls is what's really killing me in this. Because when I play Super Mario Bros., I pretty much run through the whole game. And, like I always got the run button down, and I'm, you know, jumping with the other button. And in this, to not really be using the fire button as often as the speed that this girl runs at. Jump is very slow motion compared to Mario's jumps. I haven't figured out if I could walk across like a hole like that. Mario can, but I don't know if she can. Well, Mario has to run across him. He doesn't walk across him. Jump. Okay, here comes that crazy bug thing. Last time I just kind of came over here and I just jumped over him when he came charging at me. That was close. Alright. Rex is saying, you'll get 1,000 eventually. My recommendation to get a lot of view time is to make instructional videos and tours of locations and arcades if you can find any. That'd be fun. You know, that's another thing that I do, you know, I've done so far one video where I call it Out of the Cave, where I actually went on location, and that was at the British Car Show. They had a DeLorean, well, they had a whole, like, a DeLorean club there, and for the Canadian DeLorean Association. And I'm one of the members there, so I actually showed up and brought my camera and did a full-on video. And that was my first actual, like, out of the cave. Hey, a bomb. I wonder what that does. Oh, weird. That was awesome. Rex is saying, the only reason I don't have 1,000 is because I never promote myself. I never make any show videos. I'm also dead inside. Oh, that's not good. Whoa. This thing just like... This weapon is awesome. Uh-oh. Is that... Okay. Oh, that was weird. I wasn't expecting that. Well, this kind of looks like the first 1-2 level of Super Mario Bros. You die now. Also notice the color scheme is very dull. What the heck is that thing? It's got a teardrop. Whoa, no! focused on getting that teardrop thing. I don't know what happened. Oh yeah, I can't break anything because I'm not. Great. How do you get up here? Oh wow. How do you do this? Okay, maybe I need to... That's insane. Really? Phew. Dozer, 1-up subscriber to Rex Warden. Everybody subscribe to Rex. He needs to pick me up. Let's make Rex not dead inside. Alright, a lightning bolt. Alright. I can see when I was younger, I probably would have invested more time in this game, I could see. Rex is saying that if he was younger, he'd go back in time and stop myself from working at AT&T. Well, you know, jobs are jobs. They come and go. It's got a lot of that same... I don't know if it's smart for me to take this high road, but for time's sake, let's just do it. Still curious as to why there's an arrow there. A job that teaches you useful skills and keeps you fit is a good job. Yeah, I know those are hard to come by. You're either on your feet all day and you're killing yourself, or you're sitting down all day and you're killing yourself. It's good that you can't knock the, whatever those lightning bolts are. Kind of like in Mario Brothers, where you can, if you jump underneath it and bump it, it'll go the opposite direction. And sometimes that counts, like, or that goes against you. At least in this one, it doesn't do that. I'm already noticing my thumb is starting to get tired from all of the pushing up and right and up and right. Every time I need to jump is annoying. Because this game does require a lot of jumping. And my right hand is sitting there with the fire button, hardly doing anything. We are wage slaves. Pretty much. We make the least amount of money a company is allowed to get away with paying us. That's pretty much what it is. Unless you become an accountant, or a lawyer, or a doctor, or a CEO. Alright, I wonder if I can shoot this thing. Nope, nope, nope. Abort mission. Okay. Oh, that was close. It's not like... At least it didn't seem like it was doing anything. I like these boulder things. They kind of remind me of Dig Dug. Only they don't seem as useful as they are in Dig Dug. Yeah, Rex Warden's got it exactly right. Don't like your job, you can quit. There's hundreds of people who will do it. And there's hundreds of people who will do it for a lot less than what you're getting paid, too. Which is the worst part, right? A lot of people out there that won't complain about a job, they'll just take it. Hey, I got that bomb again. Sweet. I like that weapon. It just kind of goes after the enemy, no matter where they are. Oh wow, there's a guy in Australia who makes an adapter so you can use the NES Sega controllers on the C64. Huh. The Sega controllers, don't they use the regular 9-pin? Like the Sega Genesis controller? That can be used on an Atari, so... I don't know, I've never tried one on a Commodore 64, but I always assumed it would work. And the Master System as well. Okay, I got past that area that I was stuck in. Hey, there's a fire down there. I'm just gonna keep cheating and go out ahead. Oh crap. That bit me in the ass. Okay, crud. Okay, let's see if I can fall down and land on the platform. Yay! Oh, I only got 44 seconds. The Master System. Well, the Master System and the Genesis both have the same plug. Jim's Retro Zone is asking, do I have a pause on this? I do have a pause for the emulator. It's probably a keyboard command to pause the game as well. I didn't look it up. But, no, definitely the controller wouldn't have had a pause, because the Commodore 64 used the one-button controllers just like the Atari. I wonder how many levels this game has. I need my lightning bolt. Oh, look at that down there. Those things will hurt you. Still haven't been able to go down any of these things, so I'm starting to think they're not pipes. Jim's like, oh, I almost freaked out when I started to chat and I was almost out of time. Yeah, it would be handy if I could just hit a button to kind of pause it for a second. I'm not even looking at my time. I'm just kind of looking at the screen. At the, what's ahead of me. I usually don't pay attention to time. Especially, like, I'm used to Super Mario Bros. Gives you, like, lots of time. This game just gives you enough. Uh-oh. Knew that was gonna be a problem. 100 diamonds, get free life. Yeah, that's what I figured. It's kind of like the coins. I just have to wait. Yeah. Uh-oh. I'm gonna try and go into... No! This game's not very forgiving either. Definitely not as good as the, I quit. I've done this so many times now. I wonder in the beginning if it tells you the commands. No, it doesn't. It just says 1 and 2. Interesting game. I think I'd have to, like... I think I can do, snapshots. Yeah. I mean, I can do that, but... I always like to try and play the game the way it was, See, there's the pause feature there. Alt plus pause. What? I don't have a pause button on my keyboard. But yeah, I mean, I always like to play the game the way it was originally played, so I don't typically use the that, you know, snapshot thing, but maybe on my own just to see if I can get farther. Strawberries gives you the ability to shoot homing projectile. Oh, so that's what that was. I saw there was like a bomb and there was like a diamond, and yeah, I think I probably would have probably would have invested more time on this when I was younger. Back when I used to play a crap ton of games on my Commodore 64 for hours, I probably would have invested the time and tried to get further and further and further. It's just kind of more of a frustrating Super Mario Brothers game. I just found that it's not as fun, it's not as rewarding, the sound effects are a little more annoying, and the jump button was driving me up the wall. I mean, I liked the fact that it kind of was like the Princess Rescue on the Atari, and I mean that's a completely different game. I mean, just the fact that you're playing a Super Mario Brothers game on the Atari was fun enough. This, it's like, I don't know, it just seems a little bit. Yeah, so that was fun. I don't know what I'll do for my next one. I do have some videos being uploaded this week, so check that out. Tuesday and Thursday. Maybe tomorrow I'll do my consoles to consider video, and I'm going to talk about some of the consoles and systems that I've considered buying, or what should I have grabbed. And oh hey, Diehard Gamer Bros just jumps in at the end there. Pretty good. How are you? And so yeah, definitely look out for that on Tuesday, and hopefully I can do another live stream, maybe Wednesday. Whether I'm going to do some more Atari or find some other game to play, I don't know. Usually I just think of it at the last second. Anyways, thanks everybody for coming into the chats. We had, the Diehard Game Bros just came in. We had Dozer Bed, nostalgic for the 70s, 80s. What else we have in there? Jim's Retro Zone. Jeff Intino. Rex Warden is in there. Angela was in there. Odd Pod. Well, I must not have seen him jump in there. He jumped in. I don't know if he's still here. That's the problem when you're playing and you don't get to watch the chat all the time. Billy O and Retro Evolutions. A lot of great people came in. Thanks for stopping by. We also had Mike M. Garcia. Probably butchering these names. I'm terrible at that. Just going through who else came in there. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I mean, I've never played this before, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I was just hoping that would be a little bit more like Super Mario Brothers, so I wouldn't be completely lost. And I mean, I wasn't too bad. I definitely didn't get as far as I thought I could, but whether I'll ever play this game again, I don't know. But you know, always feel free to throw some suggestions at me too, if you want to see me play. When I do my Atari, I always do it by viewers' request. So if you catch my Atari live, you're always free to throw some 2600 games at me, and I will play them. So thanks for stopping by, and I'm going to shut off the chat.